Who's going to be victorious and who's going to fill up the final podium spots for the final race day here for race 2. Good morning and welcome at the Chang International Circuit in Buriram, Thailand. You joining us here for the final day of the round 1 of the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. We've had 3-day race weekend as well as the official test on Wednesday, and now is the final race day. This morning we're going to have the warm-ups, and then in the afternoon towards the evening we will have the grand finale for the opening round. It's race 2 happening today on day 3. Now, what happened yesterday? We had the qualifyings and the race 1. Now we're going to start with the underbone 150s because, for those who know, the podium finisher in number 2, Shahrukh Shazraz, has been disqualified due to a technical infringement, so that has shuffled up the positions. Husni maintains on top. Afif Amran actually goes to second, and Fahmi Bassam goes down to third. In the TVS Racing Championship, it was the legend himself, Hiroki Ono, up to the top, the defending champion. He was victorious. Randan put in a very good fight as well. He came up second after being promoted due to Luis going on to track limits right at the end. Now for the AP 250s, what a battle it was. Kritapat nearly put in a final charge, but at the end just made a mistake going into the last turn, and ultimately Fadila from Astra Honda Racing was victorious. In the 600s, my oh my, that was an interesting one. The rain started to fall, but ultimately the lanky man himself, Adinanta Putra, managed to take control and just manage conditions and finish up in first. And in the ASB 1000s, it started off with a bit of confusion. A lot of the riders weren't certain whether the track was dry or wet, but ultimately everyone went for slicks. There was a dry line, and it was none other than Fast Time Man himself, Nakarin Atirapuapat, victorious, but not without a charge from Zakwan Zaidi from behind. Zakwan put in a really good fight, but was unable to take advantage in the last turn, and ultimately finishing up the podium was Hafiz Sharin. So it's day 2 now. The weather forecast says that it's going to be a bit cloudy and a bit cool at times. I do feel that it's a bit cooler, but cloudy is a bit questionable for now. Yesterday also the weather was a bit unpredictable, so we'll see what's going to happen. For now, the morning warm-up sessions begin, and we can hear the bikes behind me getting ready to go up. So let's head to the action, and you're going to join myself and Barry Russell up on top.
Thank you, Daniel, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. That was a great recap of what happened yesterday. We can go into a little bit more detail as we get into the morning warm-up sessions here at Chang International Circuit. This is day 3 of round 1 of the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. It's been a fantastic weekend so far. Iffy weather, as Daniel said yesterday, which certainly affected the Supersport 600 race and to a lesser extent the ASB 1000 race. But here we are on a calm, by local standards, cool morning here in Buriram. And the first riders out on track. It's 9 AM local time, as you can see, at the TVS Asia one-leg bikes. And we had a predictable winner yesterday, although there was plenty to look at during the race before Hiroki Ono, the defending champion, and the crushingly dominant champion from last year. Hiroki Ono came through at the end and just pulled the pin when he needed to on the last lap to take a relatively comfortable victory, by which I mean 0.3 of a second. And as ever, it was Ramdan Rosley that chased and chased and chased. He's absolutely unrelenting in his pursuit of Hiroki Ono. And we saw lots of action with Sartak Chavan, who qualified on pole position and competed for the lead in the early stages of the race before making all kinds of shapes coming out of turn 3 mid-race. Somehow he hung on to it. We'll probably see a replay of that at some time, or it's probably on social media somewhere, because it was a really dramatic moment. That damaged his chances. He made his way back up, but made another error. So Sartak just needs to smooth things out a little bit. He's improving all the time. His speed is beyond question. And while all that was going on, Luis Miguel made his way up to contest the lead and was doing really well. On the final turn, he just went on to the green, the runoff, and that resulted in him dropping a place. So after finishing second on the road, he dropped to third, and that promoted Ramdan Rosley to second place. So the riders just beginning their first flying lap now. This is just a 10-minute warm-up session. Get used to the track conditions today. That's going a little bit wide there. That was Hunter Corney. Hunter Corney had a really interesting race yesterday, the 14-year-old Australian. He's a Blue Crew, Oceania Blue Crew 150 champion. And I was lucky enough to see him at the final ASBK round when he participated in the R3 Asia Blue Crew Championship and contested the lead. And in race 2 in particular, he was contesting the lead, made an error, dropped back and caught up and won the race. So that is the number 9 on your screen, just going through turn 12 there, the final turn. Hunter Corney, the number 9, to watch out for. He's got a very, very distinguished cornerman this weekend in the shape of MotoGP legend and king of slide Gary McCoy is in the house this weekend. And actually I was lucky enough to meet him at the hotel last night. So there we are, that's another thing checked off my bucket list. So as well as being a fantastic rider, he's an absolute gentleman, and he is coaching Hunter Corney. So Hunter Corney, that's a name to jot down somewhere, but he's could well be the next big Australian name coming through, and there are a few in the other categories as well, as we'll see later. That is the number 6 machine there of Kim Min-jae. Improved a lot. He looks like a completely different rider this season. He was struggling to keep on the pace, but did really well throughout practice on Friday. Qualified on the second row for the race. So Kim Min-jae has really picked up some good ideas, some good coaching, and Daniel's just sprinted up to the crow's nest, the commentary box, and yeah, but I was going to say Kim Min-jae has been getting some practice in the MSBK.
Yeah, he's been doing MSBK, he's been training a lot in Malaysia, as well as working with the Honda UZ boys. He's been putting in a lot of hard work. He's been doing well for Kim Min-jae. I expect him to contest for the podium at some time in the season. He looked good all throughout Friday.
Yeah, and he looks really confident. Like, he kept quite a low profile, but he's quick to make eye contact these days and happy to talk. So yeah, another one to watch out for, and it's fantastic to see a rider coming through from South Korea. So Ramdan Rosley is quickest, and which is no surprise. He rode a really good race again yesterday, and as I said a few minutes ago, absolutely relentless in his pursuit of Hiroki Ono. Never gives up. He finished a fighting second in the championship last year. But what do you make of Ramdan's chances this season, Daniel?
I think Ramdan's, he's a top contender, and he's shown that he really can take the fight to Hiroki at times, but it's just a matter of trying to get the better of Hiroki, which is not always easy. I mean, right now as well, with the field becoming a lot more competitive, Sartak in form, we even have Luis Miguel, who really put up a good fight. It's not going to be easy this season, but again, the quality is there for Ramdan. Sometimes in racing you do need a bit of luck, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's a rider we'd like to see with better luck today, Haziq Farouz, who had some mechanical problems yesterday, But really exciting underbone rider, and I was excited when I saw him on the entry list for the TVS Asia One Lake Championship. So hopefully everything will go smoothly for him today. The number 11 as well, Kanatat Joman. We could do with seeing some of the form we know the Thai rider, the number 11, is capable of. Kanatat ran off in the on the first lap yesterday, and there is the defending champion. We had races last season, 9 of them, and he beat himself in one race at Sepang when he made a rare error, which we had to quickly play because none of us could quite believe it. But there he is. The winning margin, 0.3 of a second. Yes, we always felt that he was just waiting to come in, win as slowly as possible, because the faster you go, the more risk you're taking, obviously. Just a little way behind him is Atikangay. He had a good race yesterday. A Thai rider in again this season, which is good to see. He finished a second back from Hiroki Ono yesterday in 4th place. He'll be looking for a podium today, but there is lots of competition for those podium places. Hiroki and Ramdan goes without saying. Luis Miguel, we're seeing him come good on these TVS 310 RR Apaches. And Sartak Chavan, he can just keep things under control. He's definitely a podium contender, and so is Hunter Corney. He's definitely looking for a podium, and actually I overheard last night he's looking for the top step today. So let's see what he can do. There he is, the number 9, with Kim Min-jae, the number 6. Just switching places as they go through turn 3. These bikes are absolutely stunning. Talking to some of the new riders here and the mechanics and parents that have come with them, they are really struck by how beautifully put together these bikes are. They really are trick. Carbon fibre everywhere, really highly tuned. Top speeds around about 200 kilometers an hour. The fastest top speed recorded in this 10-minute session, checkered flag has just come out, was by Chirant Vishwanath, 206.9 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. And it was in fact Chirant who recorded the fastest time, 150.528, which is better time. Oh, it would have been the second best time yesterday in the race. The fastest time in the race yesterday was by Hunter Corney, who is a couple of tenths faster than that. So Chirant Vishwanath, who didn't finish yesterday, he's made a really good start to Sunday and looking good for race 2. The number 2, Ramdan Rosley, in P2 in this warm-up session. Sartak Chavan has just bumped him down to 3, so the number 2 is in P3. So 2 Indian riders at the top of the timing screens for this warm-up session, Chirant Vishwanath and Sartak Chavan. We'll just have a look at those results as silence descends, or relative silence descends, on Chang International Circuit. There he is, Chirant Vishwanath, 150.528. That's a really good time. Sartak Chavan, just a tenth or so behind him, second fastest. Ramdan Rosley, always there, third fastest. Haziq Farouz, hoping for a better race today, was fourth quickest. Hiroki Ono, the number 1, fifth. Hunter Corney, sixth fastest, 151.5 for him. Kim Min-jae, seventh quickest, and 8th Senthil Kumar. Ninth fastest was the returning to the series, Arshad Rushdi, the Singaporean rider, 152.1 for him. Luis Miguel, who looked so threatening yesterday, 10th quickest. Kanatat Jaman was 11th, 12th Ati Kangar, 13th KY Ahmed, 14th the Indonesian rider Rendi. We're expecting more from him today. And Leandro Paredes, the Filipino rider, was 15th fastest. So that's the warm-up for TVS Asia. Next up will be the Underbone 150s, a 10-minute session for them, coming up in around 7 minutes from now at 9:20 local time. So stay with us at Chang International Circuit. This is day 2, day 3 of round 1 of the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. We'll see you in a few minutes. We are at Chang International Circuit in Buriram, Thailand for round one of the 2025 Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. This is Sunday morning and we are watching the warm-up sessions for all 5 classes. We just had the TVS Asia one make and now coming on track for their 10-minute warm-up session are the Underbone 150s. What a race we had yesterday. In fact, what a qualification we had. We got a variety of team changes, some surprises from riders who are coming through. We always have this mix of fast veterans and up-and-coming stars, and we saw it again yesterday in qualification. We saw Shahrukh Shazraz take pole position from Fahmi Bassam, and Husni Zainal Fauzi, who was quickest in qualifying and really quick all the way through Friday practice. And in the end, it was Husni who was victorious in an absolutely chaotic final turn fight. But it was Husni kept clean while others ran off and got tangled up with each other. But it was a really, really clean win for Husni Zainal Fauzi. And we have to say the rider that came through was awarded P2 after Fahmi Bassam crossed the line second, and then was dropped to P3 for running onto the green at the final turn, which promoted Shahrukh Shazraz to second. Later it was found that there was a technical infringement by Shazraz, so he was disqualified, so that put Fahmi Bassam back into second and Husni Zainal Fauzi into third. And so, yeah, absolutely mayhem for Underbones, as we expected. We'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
Yeah, there's always something going on with Underbones. If it's not the drama that happens on the track, it's drama outside of the track as well. And we had it all for the opening race of the season. Now it's interesting, one of the Vogue machines as well actually had a technical infringement, so one of them had it, so maybe they were just doing some R&D, and unfortunately one of those parts weren't allowed. I was happy to see both Vogue bikes starting the race though.
Yeah.
Managed to at least get some good data from that, I'm certain. This is Akid Aziz. I expected him to perform better this weekend, and I knew he was going to go well in the race, and he did in the end end up 4th. So a good chunk of points going towards Akid Aziz. You can really expect him to come through the pack again, coming in race 2 later on.
Yeah, and Afifa Imran was there as well. Both those Pitts bike super fast. I'm just trying to remember the new name. Pitts bike super fast JRT racing Yamahas looked good, especially in the later stages of the race. Afifa Imran finishing 3rd after the reorganising the results, and Akid 4th. So really good start for them. In 5th was Gupita Krishna, again 2 times champion from a few years back, always looking threatening. Gupita, we're never surprised to see him in the top results. Owen Sanjaya for Yamaha LFN HP 969 was 6th. So just looking at that team, they had 3 riders in the top 6. So LFN continuing to do a great job, and it was a respectable performance by Racetech 60. Both riders, Wayuaji Trilaksana and Dimas Juliet Moko, were amongst the leaders. Both finished within a second of the winner. They were in 7th and 9th respectively. Ahmad Fazrul Sham, just saw on the screen there, the number 11. And there is his teammate, the number 31. Number 31 is Shamil Amshar Effendi. take a look at some of these bikes as they go through. The third bike in that group is the very distinctive high-vis yellow of the Racetech 60 bikes. If you want to pick out which rider it is, that is Dimas Juliet Moko. He's running a greeny yellow helmet, kind of matching the bike, while Wayuaji Trilaksana has a reddish kind of helmet. Give it a Krishna, the number 23, going on the back there, and there was yesterday's third place finisher, Afifan Ran. There is his teammate, the number 13, always a contender, Akira Ziz. Second in the Underbone 150 Championship in 2024. And if you start the season and you have to pick out one rider you think is going to do it over the course of the whole season, Akira Ziz is going to be pretty near the top of your list, Daniel.
Yeah, I think Akid, he just needs to start the season strong. We see him usually getting stronger throughout the season, but I think if he can start the season with a bang, then it should be good. I mean, he's already got a good chunk of points in race 1. I think race 2, he can really take the risk a bit. We're going into Sepang in the next run, and that's where we know Akid will be strong once again, so getting a good result at Chang for Akid's season would be a big one. But again, we have so many names who can really put up the fight this season. Aditya Fauzi, who on the new Honda that he's riding, we saw a bit of struggle, but in the race he was well within that front pack. He wasn't getting left behind. So that's another one that we'll have to look out for.
Yeah, Aditya loves to run at the front, doesn't he? And he did manage a bit of that. It's a big change from a Yamaha to a Honda. And so we're really keeping an eye on him because he is one of the big talents in this category. Lap times in late 2 minutes for And 20th, Ahmed Fazl Sham. Wayuaji Trelixana was 21st. And Mohamed Febriancia for One for All did a 2:05.864. He was 22nd fastest. Masato Fernando, number 17, was 23rd. Afizi Supat was 24th, and there was no time recorded for Tengu Amarel's Vosges machine or for Cheryl Shazraz. So that's the underbones done. We're going to move up 100cc, and so in about 6 or 7 minutes from now, the AP 250s will be on track. What an exciting qualifying, what an exciting race we had yesterday. So we're looking forward to sharing our thoughts with you on that. So stay with us. We will see you in about 5 minutes from now. We're at Chang International Circuit for the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. Very unusual, but maybe he ran off or picked up some debris somewhere offline. Who knows?
Yeah, that can happen. Like sometimes just a little bit of debris can cause a puncture, especially when the tires are really, really hot. It's really easy to cause a flat.
So Rish Takahiro we expect a lot from today, and out of some of the new riders coming in, we've got Murabo Vitoni looking really promising, a really rapid and exciting underbone rider until now, and now he looks like he's a rapid and exciting AP250 rider, so really making the transition to a tanked machine very, very well and very quickly. Number 108 there, big welcome back to Andy Mohammed Fadli, 2 times champion for Motul Sniper Kawasaki Manual Tech Racing Team, Indonesian-based team for the Indonesian 2 times champion. He struggled to get to grips with this 4-cylinder Kawasaki. It's so different. I mean, it sounds wonderful and it goes really fast in a straight line, but the extra weight, for which we're talking about something like 15 kilograms, really makes braking difficult and corner exit difficult. So, so yeah, we're looking for more to come from Andy Fadli and also from his teammate who did a fantastic job of developing that bike last year, Aiki Iyoshi. Number 24, just going to the right of your screen there, that's Davino Brittani, who had his debut, as did Fadila, for Astra Honda yesterday, and he put his bike on the podium as well in 3rd place. There's the 157 running off wide there on turn 3. '93 there, that is yesterday's race winner, Fadila Arbi Aditama. The other rider that performed well throughout practice, qualifying and the race was Chandra Hermawan for Yamaha Racing Indonesia. So it was an Indonesian lockout of the first 6 places yesterday.
Yamahas, the Hondas, it's really an interesting battle, but the Hondas have been the performing bike.
Yeah, there's Murabo. Good to see HP 96 LFN HP 969 moving up a category as well. So Murabo having a push there through turn 9.
Yeah, I think, touching on what was said before, the introduction of the Yamaha R3s really have helped to mix it up a bit. But it's just amazing to me how the CBR 250s, they're still 250 machines, they've been limited a few times, and that R3 still, it's just about putting a fight to it. We can still see how well Astra Honda have built that CBR 250. They've had so much experience with it. It's good to see the Idemitsu Malaysia team as well, finally finding improvements with the CBR 250. Seeing a bit more competition up there.
Yeah, I think the best finishing Malaysian rider yesterday, here is not a happy fact, but yeah, it was Izam Iqbal for Victor Racing who finished 9th. He was the highest finishing Malaysian rider yesterday. That's quite extraordinary too.
Yeah, the impressive thing about Izam is he's doing this pretty much on his own when I talk to him. So no support, but a good collaboration between Izam with Victor Racing. And I think this is a really good opportunity for Victor Racing. They haven't had the best of the last few seasons. And now I think with Izam Iqbal as their rider, they can really expect some good performances. He's a well-experienced, young, talented Malaysian rider. And we're going into his home race in Sepang next month. And that's actually where I expect Izam to really contest for the podiums. He's done so many kilometers there. So really good to see for the championship, really good to see Victor Racing fighting in higher positions.
Absolutely, they did a fantastic job on, you know, not the biggest budget, to put it mildly. So yeah, I was really happy to see Victor Racing up there in the top results. At the front of that group there is Chandra Hermawan, who fought hard all the way through. I've been wondering at the start whether Kritapat could get away. I was hoping he couldn't, and indeed he couldn't. And Chandra was one of the riders that kept him honest, along with in the early stages. Rish Takahira, as we were saying. And of course, Fadila, who did come through and take the win. That last corner, Daniel, I think that was a really intriguing error, if you like, but it was almost like Fadila tempted Kritapat into just coming in too hot, because he did break really late himself, Fadila.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, especially in the battle yesterday between Fadila and Kritapat, Fadila is, we've seen Kritapat in qualifying, and he looked like he was the latest at braking, but Fadila has found pretty much what I think is as late as you can go in these 250s, which prompted Kritapat to go even later in the last 10, as we saw in the race yesterday. And I think that's where Fadila's genius really comes in. He's just forcing an error because he knows he can play right at the limit. It's been such a mature ride for Fadila all weekend, and I'm really excited to see how he carries this throughout the whole season.
Yeah, I think, yeah, your expression, I think it was a forced error, or, you know, almost a sucker punch from Fadila. He kind of fainted, and Kritapat bought it. 31 going through there. Is Faris Putra. Exciting young Malaysian rider who we're going to assume is going to climb up the order. He had a better race yesterday. Where did he finish yesterday? I think he was 17th. So plenty of room for improvement. He was 22 seconds behind the winner, which is a long way in AP 250 terms. But it is Kritapat, the rising star for Yamaha Thailand, who sits at the top, time of 1:52.379. So a respectable time, nothing too spectacular so far, but he's up there at the top of the timing screens with what we would call the usual suspects. Chandra Hermawan for Yamaha Racing Indonesia, Rish Takahira, Murubel Vitoni, yesterday's race winner, Fadila, Aiki Yoshi in 6th. So Aiki Yoshi continuing to do some really good work. So let's just see those results confirmed. There he is, Kritapat Kamkum, 1:52.379, fastest time in this warm-up session. Chandra Hermawan for Yamaha Racing Indonesia, 1:52.5. Then it was Rish Takahira, the TY Antares Racing Team. 4th, Murubel Vitoni. 5th, Fadila RV Aditama. Aiki Yoshi was 6th. Galang Hendra Pratama for Yamaha Baf Yamalube Akai Jaya MBKW2 Racing was 7th, and 8th, the other Astra Honda rider, Davina Brittani. 9th, Daniel Shami Sharel for Uma Racing Yamaha. Cal Vietnam 10th quickest. Izam Iqmal, yesterday's best finishing Malaysian rider, 11th. 12th, Algasani Priyadi for Yamaha Racing Indonesia. Irfanand Ardiansyah for Maestro NWN SCK. 13th, Panjarit Chitwaron was 14th. 15th was Nafat Jatum. 16th, Gao Zhang. 17th, Eldiaz Axel Ismail. Irfan Haikal was 18th. 19th, John Reeves Emmanuel for Idemitsu Honda Racing India. Jazil Jarami for Team ACR was, I'm going to jump to 23rd. Andy Fadley, the 2 times champion, Motors Kawasaki Sniper Manual Tech, 23rd. 24th, Hu Tri, 25th, Jan Shun Cheng, and 26th, Nguyen Tonan Bu. Jacob Sablaya for SDG was 27th. 28th, Liu Guangyan for One For All. Leong Nanzi for Victor Racing Team, 29th. And there were 29 runners, so they are all intact after 3 days of competition, and we look forward to seeing all those guys this afternoon. We're going to take a short break and then we'll come back with a 15-minute warm-up session for the Supersport 600s. A dramatic race to talk about there. So stay with us. We're at Chang International Circuit for round 1 of the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. absolutely torrential tropical rain. And eventually we got underway on a drying track, and it was a victory for the ever-improving in this category, now starting his third season. Adinanta Putra for Astra Honda Racing Team did an absolutely wonderful job to come through and take the win. And also performing brilliantly was McKinley Carl-Paz, the Filipino, who, another rider getting better and better and better for Hongyong Yamaha. He came through in a real fighting P2 and looked like he was expecting to win. And it was the first podium ever for Wahyu Nugroho for Yamaha Racing Indonesia. That's been a long time coming. His previous best result was a 4th a year ago here in Buriram. And so that has been a long time coming, and the emotion and the celebrations were all very much in evidence as a result. That number 500 there, familiar number to people who've been watching ARRC for a while, is the 500 of Anupab Samun for Yamaha Thailand. Anupab we last saw in ARRC in Superbikes back in 2022 and in 2019 before that. An absolutely brilliant rider, and coming in to grace the Supersport 600 category. Another returning rider similarly to grace this category by coming back is Karel Idampawi, the number 44 we saw just now. But the rider there on your screen, the number 32, Helmi Asman, looked absolutely brilliant early in the race yesterday, but faded in the later stages. But the conditions yesterday, Daniel, were really, really difficult.
Yes, sir. I was just in awe with the new camera shots that we're getting from our cameraman. Brilliant angles from distance. But yeah, the weather, my oh my, that was something. I must say, I thought they were going to go out earlier, but I think it was just the fact of the wind. The wind was really, really strong. I tried to run across the grid with an umbrella, and the umbrella kept on going upside down. So it was a real sudden change of events. Yesterday, in the wet, we saw really Adinanta Putra mastering the conditions and understanding where the grip was. Today, however, the forecast is dry. Then again, yesterday's forecast did say rain would come later on at 5 p.m. So it's going to be interesting how today pans out. If it is completely dry, will Sharafuddin Azman there on screen, who qualified on first, can he finish the job?
Yeah, brilliant debut for Sharafuddin Azman. We saw him in AP 250s last year, and he looks more natural on a 600, I think, than on a 250. And so brilliant qualifying for him to take pole position at the first time of asking. And he ended up finishing 6th, 2.9 seconds off Adinanta Putra, the winner. Anupab didn't quite fulfill his promise in the difficult conditions yesterday. Today could well be a different story. He finished 5th. And there's teammate to McKinley Carl-Paz, who really impressed us yesterday. That is Kazma Daniel. He pulled in the later stages of the race. So mechanical problems for Kazma, unfortunately. But we know what he can do when everything's running right for the young Malaysian. And we hope very much that it does so today, because there are how many people capable of joining the podium here? Most of the field, actually.
Kazman just set the fast down session at 39.8. I just want to touch on the topic of Sharafuddin Azman that you mentioned earlier. He does look home on a 600, and even though the World Supersport results for him haven't reflected his quality, I think what he has gained in World Supersport so far has really helped him, and you can see in the way he's riding on the 600s. He's really at home, and he looks like he's on a mission. I'm excited to see how Sharafuddin Azman develops over the course of this season.
Yeah, definitely. And there is Tanat Longfiao, the rapidly improving Thai rider, rookie last year for Honda Racing Thailand. And there is the 1, 2, 3, and that is Reza Danica Arens just tracking Tanat there. And behind them, yeah, Karolidon Paui. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, Kip struggled yesterday. I think that he had a few issues, a few moments in the race as well. It was tricky conditions for Reza as well. It wasn't the finish that he would have desired. But I must say, when we talk about Tanat's improvements, yesterday I reckon it would have been one of his first times in the wet on the 600s, maybe first time ever. I'll try and confirm that, but he adapted to the conditions very quickly and nearly made it onto the podium. He was just behind Wahyu Nugroho, so really top job from Tanat. He's been growingly impressive. Last season here we saw him fighting for wins, got on the podium, so it's going to be really good for Tanat this season. Even though we haven't really seen the best of him yet, I don't think we can discount him from a championship fight this year.
Yeah, I agree. And he was second last time here in December in the final race of the season. The rider intriguing me for reasons of underperformance is Karolidon Paui for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia, because we know, I mean, recall 2023, Daniel, he was sensational.
Yeah, I'm thinking there must have been something amiss. I don't remember catching anything significant in regards to a mistake in the race. I know there was a few moments for him, but must be a mechanical error somewhere.
But he qualified ninth.
Yeah, that was another one where
he wasn't up at the top on Friday either. So something's amiss there.
I'll tell you what, he just looked uncertain the whole weekend. If you remember in practice, he was waiting around, looking around, waiting for Shafir Azman. Qualifying was the same story as well. And maybe is that lack of confidence in him. Well, of course, it's just speculation, but if it is lack of confidence, that could be playing in his mind a bit, because we know how quick he is. He's an ex-Moto3 double winner. He's spent a lot of time in the World Championship. Of course, ever since his injury, it's never been quite the same for him, but he's still quick. He's still really, really quick.
Yeah, this is more like the 2022 Kip than the 2023 Kip, who was imperious, and you know, at the early part of the season he was the rider that everybody had to beat. He just set a pace that nearly even his teammates struggled to keep up with.
And mind you, 2022 Kip hadn't ridden for about 2 or 3 years, and he was at least close to 10 kilos heavier than he is now. So something is just not sitting right with Kip this weekend.
Number 23 there, just gone through on your screen. The Hongyong Yamaha of McKinley Carl Paz. Nothing at all wrong with him. He's making really good progress. Great to see Hongyong Yamaha on the podium. And great to see a Filipino rider, Filipino hero. There he is, number 23. Great character too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm so impressed by Carl. I must say, I think everyone was just wondering when will he have his breakthrough season, because last season it was still a struggle for Carl. Just couldn't get on the pace to fight at the front. The talent was there, but it just didn't come together. Now look at him on the opening round already. He's gotten on the podium. He qualified so well. And as it stands, it's only round 1, but he is sitting high on the championship ladder. So let's see if Carl can stitch this together for a really good season and potentially a championship fight.
Yeah, and with this rider on the other side of the garage, such a strong team.
Oh. And they get along really well, so that means they will not be too shy about sharing information with each other.
Yeah.
I saw after the race they were immediately talking about how they get who's doing better, who's feeling better, sharing all the data that they have, so it works well.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, as they started to get underway, Wahyu Nugroho, previous best result was 4th here a year ago, and here he is again at Chang International Circuit, getting onto the podium for the first time. Great for the team, great for him.
It's a beautiful moment. I mean, you can see how emotional it was for him. He's been waiting for this, and Yamaha Racing Indonesia as well, the smiles. You can see that the hard work is finally paying off, and this just means so much for them. And to start a season in this fashion, this is not a good performance coming at the end. This is a good performance from the start. So they're gonna be holding their heads really high.
Yeah, and props to the team too for keeping the faith in Wayu. Because we said at the beginning of last season, I remember clearly saying he looked so comfortable on the 600, having jumped up from 250s the previous year.
I still remember it was that turn 3 crash where it just stunted his progress for a bit. And yeah, for me, I remember questioning whether, oh, that's on me, that's gotten really hot there. But yeah, for Wayu, I remember questioning whether that moment for him, an injury, did it just make him lose his confidence a bit? And maybe it did, but then now he started this season really fresh and strong. And yeah, it was waterworks for him this time during race 1, and I think it's going to be just head down and push, and it's going to be a lot of enjoyment for him.
Yeah, just looking here at Ferozi Torokatila, star of the AP 250 championship last year, ended up finishing second. He broke his leg in the middle of the season as well. So phenomenal performance for him. Looking for him to keep progressing. He's got Karl Edimpawi behind him, and Pawi catching up after that excursion at turn 3.
Yeah, I had a chat with Yamaha Racing Indonesia after Ferozi's finish. They did mention that, you know, it's Ferozi's first time throwing his leg over a 600. So in the race, it's going to be a lot of learning. It's a lot of understanding the bike still. And yeah, he's a busy man this year. He's racing in the World Super Sports as well. So he's got a lot to adapt to, but we know the quality of Ferozi. He's brilliant. He's very methodical with how he goes about improving.
Yeah, and he's got grit as well. He really has. We saw it with the comeback from his injury last season and the way he fought right to the end to try and overcome this rider. Well, what beautiful work by the director, Herjanatna Firdaus, who ended up winning the championship. Now the director knows what I'm going to say before I say it. I'm scared.
It's all telekinesis here. I was just going to mention Rocco Sessa's done really well in this warm-up. He's just a 1.4 away from the fastest time. So progress there again for Rocco Sessa. This is much better for him in one for all.
Yeah, we'd expect the 16-year-old German to also be making steady progress under the tutelage of Wichiwi, the team owner for One for All. There is Anupab. Not really showing us too much in this session. 140.6 for the Thai star. Big following here in his home country.
Yeah, Anupab, his performance has been interesting. He was so strong all throughout Friday during practice, but in qualifying fell short. Oh, big slide there from Anupab. How on earth did he save that? But yeah, Anupab, great in practice. Just started to dip a bit during the qualifying session, and in the race, in wet conditions, he just didn't manage to really go to the front. It was strange for Anupab.
Back with McKinley Carl-Paz and Adinanta Putra, yesterday's race winner, the number 21 for Astra Honda. The checkered flag is out now, and that 139.4 from Kazma Daniel was good enough to top this session from yesterday's winner. Wayu Nugroho, third. Karl Edimpawi, 140.2. His time was the 4th best. There it is, everything is calm, virtually no wind, a little bit of cloud cover. So we're hoping for perfect race conditions this afternoon. Decent warm-up session for Kazma, 139.4 for him. Next up, Adinanta Putra for Astra Honda. Wayu Nugroho for Yamaha Racing Indonesia was 3rd best, as indeed he was in the race yesterday. Karl Edimpawi for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia, 4th, 5th. Yesterday's runner-up, McKinley Carl-Paz for Hongyong Yamaha, 5th quickest, 6th Helmi Asman, 7th Razor Danica RNs for Astra Honda, and Tanat Longpliao, the number 31 for Honda Racing Thailand. 9th, pole sitter Shirafuddin Asman for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia. Anupab Samoon down in 10th. Rocco Sessler improving, as you said, Daniel, in 11th. 12th Ferozi Torakatula, Yamaha Racing Indonesia. Kitsadar Chanachot, rookie this season in for Honda Racing Thailand, 13th. 14th Shajin Tong for Victor Racing, 141.9 for him. And the best time for Herjan Atner in 15th was 142.095. So we have one more warm-up session for you, and it'll be 20 minutes on track for the Superbike class, the ASB 1000s. So as we look again, you mentioned the camera angles, Daniel. I think they're brilliant because you're getting just enough of the circuit furniture in to make it look really interesting and to know where you are.
Indeed. So shout out to the production team, shout out to our cameraman. Brilliant work.
And shout out to all our friends here at the circuit. Do come and join us on the pit walk. You can see there's a break between 10:45 and when races start. So between 11 and 12 o'clock. Come and join us on the pit walk. Come and meet the riders, take some selfies, pick up some merch. We hope to see you there. We'll be back in 6 or 7 minutes from now with the warm-up session for the ASB 1000. So stay with us.
Idemitsu IRG5. Start like a rocket and ship like silk with Superbike proven nano-tailored oil. Ultra protective Quintec guard technology distills the wisdom of oil experts. 5 protective benefits in harmony unleash the peak performance of your engine. Nano Silky Tech ensures extra smooth upshifting at high RPM. Rocket starts, silky shifts. Idemitsu IRG5. Idemitsu IRG7. Race-bred nano-tailored oil for enhanced acceleration and horsepower. Even in harsh conditions, the 7 protective benefits of septic guard technology keep your...
Welcome back to Chang International Circuit in Buriram, Thailand. And as you can see from the gantry there, we are here for round one of the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. And we have the final warm-up session of this morning. And that is for, of course, the ASB 1000 class. And on your screen there, and starting flying laps are, you can see Cameron Dunker, debutant in this series on the number 12. And as the fog clears, we'll see who he's chasing.
Yeah, he's chasing Hafiz. He's done exactly the same thing as qualifying yesterday. Just stick behind Hafiz, learn a few things.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
But I think he should find, personally I feel like he should find Nakar and RP1 around the Chang International Circuit. Those are the experts here, but nevertheless, you're following an ex-MotoGP rider, so it's a great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a good lap. It's a good lap for Cam. I think this might be his fastest lap of the weekend again. Managed a 1:37 following Hafiz yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the 17-year-old Australian has been taking very mature steps forward from the official pre-season test on Wednesday through Friday yesterday.
He's not getting that behind my Hafiz.
No, he's not.
It's so impressive. 17 years old, by the way, Cameron Dunker. He comes across the line. Cam just done a 1:37.7, Hafiz a 1:37.5.
So he continues to make progress. I'm excited to see how that will work out as the season progresses. There is the number 16 of Yu Zhou for Savitar Team Asia. New colours for Savitar Team Asia this season, together with Zhou running Lachlan Epis, who was the best qualifying BMW yesterday. In very difficult conditions, he came through to finish 9th in race 1. There is yesterday's race winner, the number 41, with the new colours, the new graphics on that gorgeous CBR 1000 Triple R. There goes Nakarin, riding it nice and loose as he likes to. He qualified second yesterday. Let me just check that. Yeah, he qualified second yesterday with a time set on medium tyres. And here's an impressive rider. Apiwat Montanan on the number 24, always impressive. But what is impressing us this weekend is how quickly he's taken to the new team. And most importantly, the new bike, the BMW, that he's on for A1 Energy Racing Team. He was quickest. He set the fastest time in free practice on Friday, fastest on combined times. And yesterday, he looked threatening. He ended up finishing 4th, but my goodness, conditions were difficult yesterday, Daniel.
Yeah, it was tricky. It looked 50-50 for most of it. And even though there was a dry line in certain parts of the track, there was still damp areas, so they had to ride with caution. Hassan and Apuat, they really work well together. Number 24 and number 25, right next to each other in their favorite numbers, and exactly the same top speeds as well right now in this session. So it's a good pairing, it's a good bike. It should be really an interesting one from them this season. Apiwat strong here at Chang, so let's see what happens in the dry later on, if it stays dry.
Yeah, we're hoping for good conditions. A lot about these results made me feel happy yesterday. I was happy to see Apiwat put in a good debut performance on this machine, and happy to see Nakarin taking his first win in the class, and happy to see the resurgence and the renewed confidence of Zakwan Zaidi, who looked like a possible winner yesterday in the end, just losing out to Nakarin, but finished P2, and you could see, and you could tell from the interview he did with you in Parc Fermé, Daniel, that his mojo is definitely back.
Definitely. I mean, it looks good. I mean, for Zakwan especially, last season, he just, you could see when he got on the podium at the end, how emotional that was for him, because he knew he wasn't performing at his best. And I think whatever was holding him back, he's shaking it off, and he's coming here strong. This season's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I mean, look at that list of riders. It's not the biggest field, ASB 1000, but you've got, wow, what have you got looking down that list? You've got 10 really, really strong riders that we know about.
They were either former national champions or former World Championship riders. As right now, he goes up in second, 36.3.
Yeah, it was an emotional win as well for Nakarin yesterday. If you saw the way he was greeted by the team and the technicians that work for the team, suppliers and so on, everybody was delighted. I mean, he's a really popular character. He's a lovely guy.
As he said, he's been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah.
Hold on, something purple just came up. That's Lachlan Epis, purple sector in sector 2. So Lachlan setting in a good lap, coming up in warm-up. He needs a good result in race 2. He's familiar with Chang, but as he mentioned on Thursday, that he has a bit of tough luck here in Chang. Had a crash in the Brick Championship as well.
Yeah, broke his collarbone then, and that was just after, maybe the week after he got that podium at Mandalika. So that was rotten luck for Lachlan. He's also running last year's bike, so he's down on power compared to the other two.
Yeah, I think he just had a few upgrades with the bike, but the engine is still last year's engine.
Yeah, and actually Kita Abe's debut made me happy as well, talking about things that make you happy. Coming in for SDG, following the championship win for the team by Yuki Kuni in 2024. Kituabe, who we previously knew in Supersport 600s in ARRC on a Yamaha, switched to SDG, and he won the Stock 600 Championship in All Japan last year, and promoted to being their rider in ARRC. And he looks really promising. So we take another look there at the number 12 on the Moto Go Yamaha, Cam Dunker. At a speed track like this, Yamahas are always going to be a little bit of a disadvantage, but he's doing everything right so far, Cam Dunker.
It's going to be a bigger hill for him to climb in Sepang as well, with 2-kilometer long straights the next round, so that'll be a huge challenge. But the Yamaha will come into its own when we head to Mandalika. That's where we saw Soichiro won in the last season. So I expect a really good result from Cam in Mandalika. Now for Lachlan, just to touch up a bit on what he's facing this weekend. So they will have a new bike coming into the next round. You can see the top speed deficit. It's nearly 10 kilometers down on average in comparison to the newer BMW. So it's a tired engine for him this weekend, and top job so far, he's 5th in warm-up. This is someone who I expected a bit more from, especially in the race. Andy Farid, he was going so well in terms of consistency in qualifying for fast lap times, as he always does, but it hasn't gone off to a great start yet for Andy Farid.
Yeah, qualified down in 8th and never really made up that deficit yesterday, although he was coming strong late in the race, as
he always does.
As he always does. It's inevitable as night following day, but he started too far back, so
it was just too little too late for him at that point.
Yeah,
I think for him, especially because it was an 11-lap race, if he wants to leave it late, he needs to start pushing a bit more at the early portion of the race, and then we'll see him strong as always at the end.
Yeah, well, let's hope for a full-length race in perfect conditions this afternoon, and we'll see very different, maybe not different results, but different race.
Here's Hafiz now, still. Ducati's just not working for Hafiz to its optimum capability. It's tough right now. He's sitting in 7th. Still a good finish, and you can see Hafiz knows how hard they've been working, and it was a positive result. But I just don't feel like this is the best of Hafiz Sharan yet.
Yeah, I noticed the rear end of that Ducati was looking a lot more planted under braking coming into turn 12 just then.
Yeah, Hafiz has this smooth riding style, which it's different from any of the other top Ducati riders that we've seen in other championships. We see we see that the Ducati likes to be a bit loose, but Hafiz likes the bike to be smooth. So they've been doing a lot of tweaking with track control and all the other electronic gizmos that Ducati V4R has. Still just piecing it all together. I'm sure in Sepang we're going to see a lot more. They've got more data there as well, and Hafiz obviously knows that track very, very well.
Yeah, for sure. We've got 3 Malaysians at the top of the timing screen. 7.5 minutes remaining. We are back with Cam Dunker on the Moto Go Yamaha. We have been teased for months before the end of the season that Patrick Lee, who's the owner of the team, was going to be entering an exciting young Aussie rider, but nobody would tell us who it was going to be, so we had to wait literally until last week before we found out who it was. And yeah, he really has dealt us a good hand.
When I did the research about Cam after the announcement, I was so impressed by what he's done. He was champion in the lightweight class. When he went to the intermediate class as a rookie, straight away he was a champion, and then he made the step up to thousands. And I mean, at 17 years old, you're gonna debut in the Premier class. It is unbelievable. He's done a mini GP championship as well. He was a champion in 2023. So he has already such a good CV, and I must say, you're 1.2 of the top in the Asia Road Racing Championship class with Mr. Azlan Shah, who's done a couple of seasons in Moto2, nearly on the podium as well back in the day. So these are quality top riders.
Well, the quickest 4 there, all been in World Championships. Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah, I think in the top 10, the only 3 riders who haven't been in the World Championship for a full season are Kito Abe, Lachlan, and Cam. The rest have all had stints in the World Championship or wildcards. I think, what about Apiwat? Apiwat's done World Super.
Yeah, Apiwat's done Moto 3, Moto 2.
Yeah, sorry, Lachlan has done World Super Sports in the World Super Sports 300.
There is the rider at the top of the timing screens currently on his new BMW. Of course, we've gotten used to seeing him on BMWs, which he's ridden right from the inauguration of ASB 1000 in 2019. He was the champion that year. And then we had that horrible long break. We're here for Victor Racing Team and the guidance of, let's have another look here. Always worth another look, Azlan Shah.
Oh, look at the tail kicking out. The rear tire just sliding around as he keeps it under control.
Yeah. Working the pegs there to keep it under control. Yeah.
This is a man who likes to be aggressive on the bike, and it's beautiful to watch Azlan. Just looking at Junior just before Azlan there, that was his fastest lap time of the weekend, if not mistaken, a 141.5, so he's closed the gap down a little bit.
Piwat not looking very happy in this session. Seen him kind of drifting around quite a lot. Just waited for Azlan to come round. Maybe he'll tag on behind him. Azlan behind Nakarin.
Just head on his waist for a second there. Piwat behind him. I'm wondering if they're going to start trying to push together, or if Azlan's heading out. Yeah, I think that there's going to be a push now for them. So we've got Nakarin in front of the pair of them, and then there's Tuyu Joe. Azlan running the soft tires during this warm-up session. I think he's just testing to see how long that tire can last. Apiwat running the mediums.
I think it's the characteristics of the tyre, because I think the soft will last okay.
Yeah, it seems to be doing all right. A couple of riders have tried about race distance with the soft tires, and I think they're looking at the weather as well. It's predicted to be at least 3-4 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. Maybe that's just enough to not chew up that soft tire throughout the 13-lap race. It's Junior Samuel Convento for Victor Racing, the local Thai rider under Vorapong Malawan's program.
Yeah, Vorapong. We saw him out on Friday on the TVS Asia one mate. Thought maybe he was coming back in, but he didn't show the qualifying. I think he was just doing a bit of on-track coaching.
You know, I had a chat with him. He was just testing something on the bikes. So I think TVS probably just brought in a new adjustment for the bikes and just wanted Vorapong's feedback on it as well. I saw him really busy after the qualifying session. He's very hands-on, checking what the riders needed. So Vorapong as a team leader there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking as a kind of a friend of Vorapong's and observing his progress, I think he's doing exactly the right thing. I think he should be now bringing new riders on. He's so good at it. Definitely the best in Thailand.
Keito Abe just found a bit of improvement there. He goes up a position into 9th at 137.2.
Yeah, good result for him yesterday to come through in 5th.
It's Lachlan Epis. Not the replay of Azlan Shah. No, sorry, this is Keito Abe. Sorry,
yeah.
Similar colors. Keito looks so smooth now compared to when he raced in the Super Sports class. Again, a very SDG-esque style of riding.
Yeah, it's like maybe they stick the chip in the back of his head.
I think the only different thing that in comparison to Yuki and the late great Haruki is the eyes on that Arai helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the way he's right off the bike, but he's really compact.
Even though Keito hasn't been in the top 3 this weekend, looking at the way Keito's riding this 1000cc bike, he looks like he's on it. I think he'll come strong. I think Sepang should be a good place for Keito. He's ridden well in Sepang before, and I think it will all come together by the end of the season for Keito Abe and SDG.
Yeah. And after Sepang, it'll be the Japanese round.
Is that a wheelie on the last bit before the last turn? That's
unusual.
Proper aggression. This is going to be faster. 37.0 there for Keito Abe. This progressive approach that SDG has with their riders is so impressive. Look at this. On the exit here, the front wheel just picks up ever so slightly. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
He's aggressive there from Keito Abe.
Great slow-mo shot there.
Look at the control he has going in as well.
It's one for his collection. Got some fantastic content. I mean, just digressing slightly, if you're not following the ARRC Instagram page, you really should be. Some fantastic content on there.
Shout out to the social media team for picking out some amazing shots throughout the race weekend. Here we're just going to follow Keito Abe with that beautiful CBR and that really nice looking helmet. Look at that, the bike, it's trying to get unsettled, but Keito is just managing to keep it under control. Fantastic job from Keito Abe. I mean, again, the results aren't really reflecting his talent yet, but it will come together. Look at the way he's riding.
Yeah, good riders to close out this session with.
He's improving through sector 2, so again, step by step, finding adjustments. He came back into pit lane a couple of times already in this session, so they're looking for something for the race. Look at the way he just bounces away coming into the last turn.
Yeah, this will be 10 laps done in this 20-minute session. Keito, who celebrates the end of it with a little wheelie.
369 for that final lap for Keito Abe. Is Nakarin, he's not found any improvements on this lap.
Last time around for him.
Yeah, mini wheelie as well as he comes across the line.
It's a very natural thing to do out of that corner, isn't it?
Off is there. Bit of a slide going to the last turn, but he's going to take the checker flag. This was his out lap, so That session done for Hafizharin. And he fired with the highest top speed, equaling Aslan Shah's 297.5 kph.
Yeah, quickest time was done early in the session there by Aslan. 136.1. Great graphics on the start-finish gantry there. Look at the cloud cover and a look at the results. 136.1 for the great Malaysian, the great showman, Aslan Shah Kamarazaman. And second, another great Malaysian, Zakwan Zaidi, rediscovering his form. 136.2 for him. Then it's Azroy Hakim Anwar for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia, teammate of Zakwan. Nakarin Tirapuvapat, yesterday's race winner, 136.4. Lachlan Epis, next best for Savitar Team Asia, also in the 136.4. Apiwat Wongtananon for A1 Energy BMW, 6th fastest. 7th, Andy Faridis Dahar. 8th, Hafiz Shirin Abdullah. Kito Abe we spent some time with just now. He was 9th quickest. Cameron Dunker, another good session for him. Step by step, improving all the time. MotoGo Yamaha Racing Team. 11th quickest was Junior Convento for Victor Racing. Tell You Joe for Savitar Team Asia. Best time for him, 145.788. So we're done for the morning warm-up sessions. When we come back, it will be for a race 2 this afternoon, when once again we'll be joined by the voice of ASBK, the great Phil Harlem. It's a lot of fun working with Phil yesterday, and we're looking forward to that this afternoon and to some fantastic racing. Before that, and in a few minutes from now, will be the pit walk. So if you are in the grandstand or nearby in the area, come along to the pit walk, take some photos, take some selfies, grab some merch, and we will look forward to seeing you then. Racing starts at 12:30 this afternoon, so we will see you then. We're at Chang International Circuit for round 1, race 2 coming up for the Idemitsu FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. We'll see you a little later.
Idemitsu IRG5. Start like a rocket and ship like silk with super bike-proven nano-tailored oil. Ultra-protective Quintec guard technology distills the wisdom of oil experts. 5 protective benefits in harmony unleash the peak performance of your engine. Nano Silky Tech ensures extra smooth upshifting at high RPM. Rocket starts, silky shifts. Idemitsu IRG5. Idemitsu IRG7.
สวัสดีคุณผู้ชมทุกท่านนะครับต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่สนามช้างอินเตอร์เนชั่นแนลเซอร์กิตจังหวัดบุรีรัมย์ประเทศไทยนะครับวันนี้กับเอเชียโรดเรซิ่งแชมเปี้ยนชิพ 2025 ครับประเดิมสนามแรกครับที่สนามช้างอินเตอร์เนชั่นแนลเซอร์กิตจังหวัดบุรีรัมย์ประเทศไทยนะครับเมื่อวานนี้เรสแรกครับวันนี้เราเข้าสู่เรสที่ 2 ของการแข่งขันนะครับอยู่กันกับผมดีเจก๊อกน้ำสนามช้างนะครับเดี๋ยววันนี้เราอยู่ในช่วงกิจกรรมพิทวอล์กจะพาทุกคนครับเดินดูบรรยากาศพร้อมด้วยไปพูดคุยกับเหล่าบรรดานักแข่งไทยทีมแข่งไทยของเราที่ลงทำการแข่งขันในรุ่นนี้นะครับพร้อมแล้วเดี๋ยวเราเดินมาดูบรรยากาศกันครับทุกคนครับนี่คือบรรยากาศพิทวอล์กครับที่ช้างอินเตอร์เนชั่นแนลเซอร์กิตจังหวัดบุรีรัมย์ประเทศไทยนะครับนี่คือเดินมาเรื่อยๆในสังกัดของนี่ SDG ครับนบานกำลังเข็นรถอยู่นะครับนบานสวัสดีครับนี่พูดนิดหนึ่งได้ไหมนบานพูดถึงทีมหน่อยนึงครับตอนนี้เห็นนบานพูดในFacebook ของตัวเองว่านักแข่งใหม่เลยทั้ง2รุ่นใช่ไหมครับเป็นไงบ้างครับ
ใช่ครับก็ยังต้องปรับตัวอีกสักพักหนึ่ง
ครับ
เพราะ
ผม
ว่าเพิ่งขึ้นมาจับตัว1,000 ซีซีเป็นนักแข่งเป็นแชมป์ออเจแปนจากรุ่น600 ซีซี
อ๋อ
ค
ค
รั
รั
บบ ก็ยังต้องเรียนรู้ตัวรถอีกพอประมาณน่ะ
ครับ
แต่ว่าก็พอได้อยู่ครับกับสนามแรกที่นี่ครับ
ครับผมนบานเต็มที่ครับแล้วอีกคนหนึ่งที่ในรุ่น 250ครับน
ก็
บาน
เป็นนักแข่งจากฟิลิปปินส์ครับ
ครับ
ก็เป็นเพิ่งหายบาดเจ็บกลับมาฮะ
อ๋อ
ยังไม่เข้าที่สักเท่าไหร่
ครับผม
ก็ตามเชียร์ด้วยครับ
ครับผมขอบคุณนบานครับขอบคุณนะครับนบานกำลังทำงานพอดี รบกวนนบานนะครับผมนี่ครับกับทีมงานที่แบบเราเคยเห็นนบานได้ภาคในโมโต GP ก็ไม่เห็นนบานอยู่ตรงนี้กันบ้างนะครับผมสำหรับในช่วงของการทำงาน ในระหว่างนี้โอ้โหนี่เลย ทีมของฮาฟิซสยาลินอับดุลลาครับเหล่าบรรดาพริตตี้เกิร์ลสาวสวยว้าวนี่ครับดูบรรยากาศครับพริตตี้เกิร์ลสาวสวยครับนักแข่งในรุ่น ASB พันนะครับฮาฟิซสยาลินอับดุลลาครับนี่เหล่าบรรดาพริตตี้เกิร์ลของเขานี่ครับสวัสดีพี่อูด้วยนะครับเดี๋ยวเราเดินมาที่บรรยากาศตรงนี้ครับพิทหมายเลข 9 และหมายเลข 10ครับนี่คือทีมแข่งของ Honda Racing Thailand นะครับขออนุญาตนิดนึงโอ้ยคือคักมากเลยครับตอนนี้ Honda Racing Thailand เมื่อวานนี้ขออนุญาตครับคุณอารักษ์พรประภาครับผมเมื่อวานนี้เห็นคุณอารักษ์ลุ้นหน้าดูเลยครับในรุ่นใหญ่
เต็มที่เลยลุ้นเต็มที่เลย
เต็มที่เลยใช่ไหมครับ
โฮมเลสของเรา
ครับผม
โอ้โห
แล้วก็ลุ้นจนได้วินเนอร์โพเดียมเลยครับ
โอ้โหจริงๆต้องขอบคุณพี่กอบงาม
ครับผม
เชียร์ภาคเชียร์คนไทยเราโอ้โห
โอ้เชียร์ครับผม
นักไทยมันได้ยินมันเอาเต็มที่เลย
ใช่ไหมครับวันนี้เป็นไงบ้างครับสำหรับน้องๆนักแข่งในทุกรุ่น
ทุกรุ่นในวันนี้อากาศแห้ง
ครับ
ทุกคนบอกว่าเต็มที่
เต็มที่
เต็มที่มีเท่าไหร่ไม่เพราะว่าเมื่อวานนี้สนามเปียกเขาบอกว่าวันนี้มันยังมีอีกเลสหนึ่ง
ครับผม
แต่นั้นว่าก็คิดว่าถ้ายังไงแล้ว เราได้เท่าไหร่เมื่อวานนี้วันนี้มาเอาปล่อยเต็มคาราเบลดีกว่า
ปล่อยเต็มคาราเบลเลยดีกว่านะครับผม
อ่า
นะครับฝากให้ฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆมอเตอร์สปอร์ตชาวไทยนะครับพี่เชียร์นักแข่งไทยของเรานะครับ
วันนี้นักแข่งไทยเราก็มีมานะครับเกือบ10 คนนะค
ทุก
รับ
รุ่นเลย
อ่าของเราก็คนไทยเชียร์คนไทยครับ
ครับผม
ไม่จำกัดยี่ห้อไหน ขอให้เป็นคนไทยได้ เราอยากจะฟังเพลงชาติไทยเราอีกสักครั้งหนึ่งเมื่อวานเราฟังของนักคารินมาแล้ว วันนี้อยากได้ฟังทุกรุ่นเลยครับ
ครับผมขอบคุณคุณอารักษ์พรประภาครับขอบคุณมากๆนะครับผมนี่ครับบรรยากาศ เดี๋ยวเมื่อวานนี้เราเห็นเหล่าบรรดานักแข่งที่ขึ้นบนโพเดียม ขอคุยกับอาจารย์ชิปนิดหนึ่งได้ไหมครับ ชิปนครินทร์อธิรัตน์ทัวพัฒน์ครับสายจวดครับ โอ้ยเมื่อวานเจ้าคือสุดยอดครับแค่โอ้ยขออนุญาตเว้าอีสานจักหน่อย เป็นไงครับวินเนอร์โพเดียมแรกเลย ในปี 2025 สำหรับรุ่นใหญ่ครับ ความรู้สึกเมื่อวาน
เตรียมตัวมานานครับ เตรีย
ครั
ม
บ
ตัวมานั่น
โดนหลาย
โดนหลาย เดินว่าปลดล็อกเจ้าของแล้วครับมื้อ
โอ้
นี้
ยมือนี่เป็นไงครับเลสสองจังไดมือนี่
เลท2ก็หนีออกไปคือเก่าครับ
นี่คือเก่า
อยู่ทั้งหน้าให้ได้
เนาะฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆหน่อย
ฝากในเด้อครับ เบอร์ 41 Honda
ครับผม
Racing Thailand
ครับผม
กับ
น้องๆด้วย
600 ซีซี
ครับ
250 ซีซีครับ
ครับผมขอบคุณครับผม
ครับ
อาจารย์ชิปนครินทร์อธิรัตน์พัวพัฒน์ครับอาจารย์ชิปสายจวดครับมาครับ เดี๋ยวเราขยับไปตรงนั้นนี่คือที่พิทของ Honda Racing Thailand ครับได้คุยกับผู้บริหารแล้วก็ได้คุยกับตัวแทนแล้วกันนะครับชิปนครินทร์อธิรัตน์พัวพัฒน์เมื่อวานนี้ก็คว้าวินเนอร์โพเดียมในรุ่นใหญ่ครับ สำหรับเอเชียซูเปอร์ไบค์1,000cc ไปเป็นที่เรียบร้อยครับอ๋อเฮลโลโมโตโกยามาฮ่าเจ้าหนูวัย17 ปีนะครับสำหรับนักแข่งไม่อยู่ด้วยไม่เป็นไรโมโตโกครับนี่ครับทีมนี้เฮลโลมาที่ BMW ครับนี่ครับสำหรับ A1 Energy นักแข่งยังไม่ออกมาจริงเรามีนักแข่งไทยอย่างสแตมป์อภิวัตรวงศ์ธนานนท์นะฮะตอนนี้เห็นแค่รถจะอยู่พิษหมายเลข11นะครับเผื่อแฟนๆอยากจะมาพูดคุยทักทายนะครับผมยังไม่มาเดี๋ยวเราขยับมาเรื่อยๆกันหน่อยนึงนะครับก็จะเป็นบรรยากาศตรงนี้ครับคุณผู้ชมเจอคุณธงชัยวงศ์สวรรค์ครับผมพี่เล็กครับผมเป็นไงบ้างครับวันนี้
ตื่นเต้นแทนนักแข่งไทยครับ
ครับผมขอบคุณมากครับผมนี่ครับเรียกอย่างอื่นไม่ได้นะเขาให้เรียกว่าพี่เล็กนะครับผมยังวัยรุ่นอยู่เลยขยับมาเรื่อยๆครับตอนนี้กล้องก็จะจับไปอย่างดูอย่างเราบรรดานักแข่งต่างชาติด้วยนะครับเดี๋ยวผมมาดักตรงนี้โอ้โหต้องบอกว่าคึกคักมากครับวันนี้คุณผู้ชมที่รับชมอยู่นะครับทางบ้านตอนนี้นะฮะสามารถมาชมการแข่งขันได้เพราะว่าตอนนี้เรสยังไม่เริ่มนะครับเรสยังไม่เริ่มเดี๋ยวเราจะมาที่พิษของยามาฮ่ากันหน่อยนึงฮะกับยามาฮ่าไทยแลนด์เรซซิ่งทีมซึ่งดูคึกคักเลยครับที่พิษหมายเลข16นะครับนี่ครับคอมิล่าแมน follow me ก่อนถึงนี่มาโอ้โหเจออาจารย์วรพงษ์มาลาหัวนครับผมขอไมค์อาจารย์หน่อยมานักแข่งเบ้าหน้าฟ้าประธานของอาจารย์มาพูดคุยกันหน่อยนี่อุ้ยมีพินมาเล่นด้วยสวัสดีครับซามูเอลลูกชายโอ้โหมาเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตอาจารย์แนะนำหน่อยนึงว่ามีใครบ้าง
คนแรกก่อนเลยครับเล่นกีตาร์เล่นพินอยู่ตรงนี้น้องออกเทนครับ
น้องออกเทนนี่เป็นลูกใคร
ลูกผมเองครับ
จริงเหรออุ้ยคุณมีลูกโตขนาดนี้แล้วเนี่ย
ใช่ครับก็ตอนปีนี้11 ขวบแล้วปีหน้าก็10ปีหน้าก็จะไปอยู่เชียงใหม่แล้วก็ตอนนี้ครับเบ้าหน้าฟ้าประธานของเราจูเนียร์ซามูเอล
จูเนียร์ซามูเอลคอร์เรนโตครับผมเมื่อวานนี้มีแต้มแล้วนะครับผมจันมาพูดคุยหน่อยทำไมน้องถึงได้เข้ามาขับในรุ่นใหญ่ของเอเชียโรดได้
ก็ด้วยการที่แข่งในรายการของ BRIC ครับก็ด้วยความที่ฉายแววในปีที่แล้วทางทีมวิกเตอร์ก็ให้แบบว่าต้องการนักแข่งอยู่แล้วแล้วก็คุยกันก็เป็นพาร์ทเนอร์กันอยู่แล้วก็เลยมีโอกาสให้จูเนียร์ได้สัมผัสเวทีที่ใหญ่ขนาดนี้ครับ
ผมจูเนียร์ฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆนะครับ
ก็มาขี่กับทีมวิกเตอร์เรซซิ่งนะครับก็ฝากติดตามเชียร์ด้วยนะครับหมายเลข157ครับ
ครับผมขอบคุณจานขอบคุณจูเนียร์สเวลคอนเวนโตนะครับแล้วมาที่ตรงนี้ครับสวัสดีครับผู้บริหารหนุ่มสุดหล่อครับวันนี้คุณป๊อปครับคุณวีรพงษ์ธนกิจจานนท์ครับผมคุณป๊อปครับผม
สวัสดีครับ
วันนี้เป็นไงบ้างครับ
ก็เตรียมตัวกันมาจากเมื่อวานนะฮะเราเข้ามาก็ดีนะครับก็เมื่อวานอาจจะผลของการขี่ก็อาจจะโชคไม่ดีไปนิดนึงแต่ถือว่าโดยรวมจนถึงโค้งสุดท้ายเนี่ยน้องก็ทำได้ดี
ใช่ครับสำหรับน้องไอเดีย
ใช่ก็มั่นใจเรื่องผลงานแล้วก็เพอร์ฟอร์แมนซ์ของตัวทีมแล้วก็ตัวนักแข่ง
ครับหลังจากจบเรสเมื่อวานน้องมีอารมณ์เป็นไงบ้างครับ
แป๊บเดียวโตแล้ว
ครับเนาะ
โตแล้วก็แป๊บเดียวก็รู้แล้วก็มามองว่าตัวเองพลาดตรงไหนหรืออะไรอย่างเงี้ย
วันนี้ก็น่าจะมีความมั่นใจกลับมาเหมือนเดิม
ถ้าดูจากหน้าตอนนี้ก็ อยากขึ้นโพเดียมแล้วล่ะ
คือไอเดียดูไม่ค่อยกดดันแต่ผู้บริหารรู้สึกจะกดดันเป็นพิเศษ ขอบคุณคุณป๊อปครับเดี๋ยวขอคุยกับไอเดียนิดนึงนะครับผมไอเดียจ๋ามาคุยกับพี่ก๊อกนิดนึงหน่อยนึงครับเมื่อวานนี้ทุกคนลุ้นเลยเชียร์พี่ก๊อกแบบภาคจนเสียงแหบเลยเมื่อวานนี้ดันไปผิดพลาดอยู่นิดเดียวที่โค้ง12คุณป๊อปผู้บริหารเขาบอกว่าเสียใจน้อยใจน้อยๆไปนิดเดียวตอนนี้เป็นไงครับอารมณ์ความรู้สึก
ก็รู้สึกว่ามีเพชเชอร์ขึ้นมาครับแต่ว่าไม่ได้แบบว่าหนักแต่ว่าเราก็ทำกันบ้านมากับทีมงานเมื่อวานว่าเราผิดพลาดตรงไหนแล้ววันนี้เรามีอะไรต้องแก้บ้าง
วันนี้มั่นใจแค่ไหน
ครับวันนี้มั่นใจ 100% ครับ
วอร์มอัพก็เวลามาเป็นอันดับ1อยู่แล้วนะครับฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆหน่อยครับ
ก็ขอฝากพี่น้องแฟนๆชาวไทยครับแล้วก็พี่น้องแฟนๆชาวยามาฮ่าไทยแลนด์เรซซิ่งทีมทุกท่านครับขอฝากติดตามเชียร์และเป็นกำลังใจให้ผมนะครับวันนี้ก็จะแข่งกันเป็นเลสที่2ครับในช่วงบ่าย2ครับผม
ขอบคุณครับไอเดียกฤตภัทรเขื่อนคำครับจาก Yamaha Thailand Racing Team นะครับผมวันนี้น้องบอกว่าพร้อมแน่นอนนะครับเราเดินมาจริงๆเราเห็นผู้บริหารอยู่ อยากจะขอคุยด้วยสักหน่อยหนึ่งอย่ามานี่ทุกคนครับในนามของสนามช้าง International Circuit คุณโอ๊ตครับขออนุญาตนิดหนึ่งครับผมขออนุญาตพี่ไก่นิดหนึ่งนะครับผม
คุณก๊อกน้ำครับ
วันนี้รู้สึกว่าเอเชียโรสสนามแรกคึกคักมากเลยครับ
ครับผม
คุณโอ๊ตเป็นไงบ้างครับอยากฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆนะครับวันนี้
ก็แฟนๆที่ดูอยู่นะครับรับชมทางทีวีหรือไลฟ์สตรีมมิ่งถ้าอยู่ใกล้ๆแล้วอยากมาชมนะครับวันนี้มาที่สนามได้เลยนะครับบรรยากาศวันนี้มันแน่นอนรับรองว่าชมที่สนามเนี่ยมันกว่าดูอยู่ที่บ้าน100 เท่าพันเท่านะครับท่านจะได้สัมผัสกลิ่นนะครับกลิ่นน้ำมันกลิ่นยางเสียงที่สนั่นแน่นอนนะครับรับรองว่าบรรยากาศความสนุกเนี่ยหาดูไม่ได้จากในทีวีนะครับแต่ถ้าใครที่อยู่ไกลมาไม่ทันจริงๆนะครับอยู่ภาคเหนืออยู่ภาคใต้ก็ชมทางไลฟ์สตรีมมิ่งนะครับหรือว่าผ่านช่องทางการถ่ายทอดสดได้นะครับผม
ขอบคุณคุณโอ๊ตครับคุณตนัยศิริชาญวิทยารมณ์ครับกรรมการผู้อำนวยการสนามช้าง International Circuit นะครับตอนนี้เราก็มาเรื่อยๆครับดูบรรยากาศครับโอ้ต้องบอกว่าคึกคักมากๆนะครับในระหว่างที่ผมพูดไปเนี่ยก็จะมีช่างภาพ OB จะแบบเจาะไปได้เห็นบรรยากาศต่างๆนะครับอย่างที่คุณโอ๊ตได้บอกไปนะครับว่าถ้าเราได้ดูสดๆที่สนามนะครับผมแน่นอนว่าบรรยากาศเนี่ยคึกคักแน่นอนได้เห็นรถแข่งนะครับผมได้ยินเสียงแล้วก็ได้กลิ่นด้วยนี่ตรงนี้สุดยอดมากๆนะครับก็นอกจากนี้สวัสดีพี่ๆสื่อมวลชนทุกท่านด้วยนะครับของพี่ๆตอนนี้ก็มากันเยอะเลยในทุกๆแพลตฟอร์มครับมาร่วมนำเสนอข่าวคราวการแข่งขันรถจักรยานยนต์ทางเรียบชิงแชมป์เอเชียอย่างในรายการเอเชียโรดเรซซิ่งแชมเปี้ยนชิพนะครับเดี๋ยวตอนนี้กำลังหา TVS ที่เป็นนักแข่งไทยของเรานั่นคืออาทิตย์กังแฮแล้วก็อาจารย์ฟองอยู่ไกลหรือเปล่าไม่รู้อยู่พิษโน้ตเลยเหรอเฮลโลนี่ไงอยู่ตรงนี้ไงอาทิตย์กังแฮได้ยินเสียงไหมครับมีอาทิตย์กังแฮแล้วก็อาจารย์ฟองคณาทัศน์ใจมั่นนี่ไงอยู่ตรงนี้ไงโอเคขออนุญาตมาหาหน่อยหนึ่งนะครับทุกคนครับเราอยู่กับนักแข่งไทยครับในรายการ TVS นะครับผมนี่คืออาทิตย์กังแฮครับผมสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
เปิดยังเดี๋ยวเอาไมค์พี่ก็ได้ดูเหมือนไม่ค่อยดังเมื่อวานนี้จบอันดับที่4วันนี้เป็นไงบ้างครับความพร้อม
วันนี้ก็จะทำให้เต็มที่ครับแล้วก็100%แน่นอนครับ
นี่100%แน่นอนเมื่อวานนี้เกือบจะมีโอกาสลุ้นโพเดียมแล้ว
ครับ
มันไปผิดพลาดตรงไหนหรือว่ายังไง
มีพลาดจังหวะรอบสุดท้ายครับ
รอบสุดท้ายเลย
ใช่ครับ
แต่วันนี้กลับมาแก้ไข
ครับวันนี้
ทุกคนครับรอเชียร์ครับอาทิตย์กังแฮครับผมหมายเลขอะไรนะรถหมายเลข
5หมายเลข
5นะครับขอบคุณนะครับนี่ครับอาทิตย์กังแฮนักแข่งไทยของเราจริงๆแล้วมีอาจารย์ฟองคณาทัศน์ใจมั่นอีกด้วย1คนแต่ตอนนี้ไม่อยู่นะครับส่วนนี้ก็จะเป็นเหล่าบรรดานักแข่งที่ต้องบอกว่ายังบัตรเลยขออนุญาตนิดหนึ่งได้ไหมครับพี่จุครับผมสวัสดีพี่จุครับคุณจุฑามาศอินปริงกานันนะครับผมพี่จุของเราเกษียณเมื่อวานนี้
ต้องขอบคุณสนามช้างเนี่ยจัดให้พี่แบบเต็มที่
เลยใช่ไหมครับอยากให้คือพี่จุเนี่ยอยู่ในวงการมอเตอร์สปอร์ตไทยแล้วก็ได้เห็นเหล่าบรรดาน้องๆนักแข่งนะครับมาจนถึงทุกวันนี้ประสบความสำเร็จอย่างเมื่อวานรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
โหเมื่อวานเป็นดีใจมากจริงๆพี่รู้สึกพี่คุ้มกับการเดินทางมาล่องมาหลายจังหวัดมากกว่าจะมาถึงที่บุรีรัมย์เมื่อวานได้มาเห็นพี่ชิปได้เป็นวินเนอร์ของรุ่น1,000 ซีซีเป็นครั้งแรกของชิปด้วยนะคะแล้วก็ของ Honda Racing Thailand เราด้วยแล้วก็เปิดด้วยวินเนอร์ขึ้นโพเดียมร้องเพลงชาติไทยนี่แบบโอ้โหดีใจมากคน
ครับอยากให้พี่จุฝากอะไรถึงแฟนๆหน่อยครับว่าวันนี้การมาชมในสนามก็ยังทันอยู่ได้มาเชียร์นักแข่งไทยหน่อยนึง
คือ ARRC Asia Road Racing Championship เนี่ยเป็นรายการระดับเอเชียซึ่งปีหนึ่ง2 ครั้งที่จะมาบ้านเราพี่ไม่อยากให้พลาดโอกาสนี้รวมดาวระดับเอเชียที่มาอยู่ในวันนี้ที่สนามช้างวันนี้นะทั้งไทยประเทศไทยเองแล้วก็มาเลอินโดเวียดนามนะทุกประเทศเลยมาอยู่ที่นี่คือใครพลาดงานนี้เนี่ยเสียดาย
ครับผม
นะยังทันใช่ไหม
ยังทันครับยังไม่เริ่มเลย
มาได้เลยนะ
ได้เลยครับขอบคุณพี่จุนะครับคุณจุฑามาศอินปริงกานันนะครับน่ารักมากๆนะครับผมตอนนี้ก็เราได้พูดคุยกับเหล่าบรรดาทั้งนักแข่งแล้วก็ทีมผู้บริหารนะครับผมก็เดี๋ยวช่วงนี้เดี๋ยวให้ทุกคนได้ดูบรรยากาศแล้วกันนะครับบรรยากาศโดยรวมแล้วก็อย่าลืมมาเชียร์เหล่าบรรดานักแข่งไทยของเราจะเริ่มต้นด้วยรุ่น TVS One Make Championship นะครับมาเชียร์เมื่อกี้อาทิตย์กังแฮรวมไปถึงคณาทัศน์ใจมั่นนะครับเป็นรุ่นแรกที่จะทำการแข่งขันในเรส 2นะครับโอเคดูบรรยากาศสำหรับพิทวอล์กของ Asia Road Racing Championship ครับผม